Well, welcome back, folks. Thank you for joining me on the Writers Bloc on Virtual Channel Network. I'm David Mulligan, and we are going to continue reviewing Terminator 2 Judgment Day, written by James Cameron and William Wisher. Let's take a look. Scene 13B, we're introducing this new Terminator. This prototype Terminator. A naked man glides from the shadowy doorway behind the cop. Nothing special about him. Certainly not built like a Terminator. The flash of light and the fact that he is naked are pretty good clues that he is just arriving from the future. His features are handsome, bordering on severe. His eyes are gray ice. Penetrating, intelligent. The cop spins at a sound. Too late. Mr. X is already on him. The blow is lightning fast, and the cop drops like a bag of sand. I really like that, James Cameron here, he is introducing a new Terminator, but he's being very careful to make sure that it's not too much like the other Terminators. He's bringing variety. He's bringing something interesting. But also, I like that he calls him Mr. X, because technically, he's Mr. X. And he continues with this, using this Mr. X, and it's pretty good. And as we go through this and as we move on, you'll see how he continues to use this. I'll point it out. If you go to 13C, you'll see, look at here, Mr. X, dressed now in LAPD blue, climbs behind the wheel. He looks and acts exactly like a cop. Cool, alert, confident in his power, his expression emotionless and judgmental. Mr. X, now Officer X, puts the car in gear and drives into the night. I like that. I like his expression emotionless and judgmental. Because, well, he's a Terminator. So, but I like now Officer X. He's switching. He's moving forward. We're still with the same character, but because of the nature of this character, because of the nature of its ability to be a liquid metal chameleon kind of thing, he's introducing the character to the reader in this fashion, and it's kind of nice. I think he does a great job. Go down to scene 14. What I think was interesting about scene 14 is we're being introduced to 10-year-old John Connor. And he's doing some stuff. The Ramones' I Want to Be Sedated blast from the boombox next to him. Let's talk about that for a second. So you have a movie. Let me go back. Remember Independence Day? If you've seen Independence Day, in there they have a song. I don't know the name of the band, but it's a kind of what is that song? I can't remember. But it's in the movie, and it's very much about the invading aliens kind of thing. It's the end of the world as we know it. That's what it is. I don't know who did it, but it's the end of the world as we know it, and actually it fits really good with the film. With the Ramones' I Want to Be Sedated blast from the boombox next to John Connor. Well, I'm not sure if it fits. Is that part of the tone of the tone and the character of the scene? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. But the funny part is this: it's not used in the movie. Watch the movie, and they just used what seems to me like some sort of stock rock music. No lyrics, just kind of, just a nameless rock song. Which is very interesting. So, with that said, what do we take away from this? Well, number one, if you have to put a particular song in, it's got to be the Rolling Stones, and it's got to be this song. All right, maybe. But does it have to? Not always. But in some cases, it can work very well. Like in the case in point with the Independence Day. That's a good song to play at that point in the movie. It was really good. Moving on. We are on scene 15, and Janelle, who is John Connor's foster mother, goes to her husband to complain And she says, I swear I had it with that goddamn kid. He won't even answer me. And then in parenthetical, James Cameron puts, neither does he. And she says, Todd, are you going to sit there or are you going to do something? So a little side note on parentheticals. Why do we use parentheticals? We use parentheticals to get more specific about the nature of the dialogue, the nature of the character speaking the dialogue. Let's say you want to be sarcastic and you say, I really love those shoes, but you're sarcastic. You don't really mean it. Then you would put in parentheses sarcastic. I really love those shoes when you really don't. That kind of stuff. But in this case, the parenthetical doesn't point to Janelle. Sort of. It kind of points to Todd. But it's nestled in with Janelle's dialogue. Is that okay? I don't know. I don't know if it's okay. That's a good question. Obviously, in this case, it is okay for James Cameron. I mean, he's a big-time director, and he can do that. I like it. And the reason that I like it is because of economy of space. Because if we were to indicate to the audience that Todd is not paying attention, we could do that in action description. But what does that require? That requires a couple of more spaces. One above Janelle's dialogue, and then one below for Janelle's continuing dialogue where she says Todd, and then all that. But here it's all combined together. It's very quick, it's compact, and it's right there for you. That's why I like it. So, in some cases, can you break a parenthetical rule like that? If you can call it a rule, maybe a guideline. In this case, it works. So for me, as a writer, as a screenwriter, I will have to consider a little bit broader in how I use parentheticals and whether something like this will work. Something for you to consider too. All right, folks, let's stop here. I hope that you join me next time when we continue to look at James Cameron's Terminator 2 Judgment Day.